Hey, Alex here from the Football Guys, here to talk about 3 players that you need to be buying low on in all of your fantasy football leagues before Week 6 begins. This is another one of our Football Guys YouTube short series where we talk about players that we like, don't like, and everything in between to help you be the best fantasy football player possible. And with that being said, let's jump into our 3 players that you should be buying low on in all of your fantasy football leagues, whether on waivers, trade targets, etc. The first player I want to talk about today is Alec Pierce. What people don't realize about Alec Pierce is that he's been on a nice little stretch the last few weeks. He had a concussion in week 1, he didn't play in week 2. In the last 3 games since, he's had at least 60 plus yards in 3 straight games, which is great. He's averaging just under 7 targets during this span, and that is wonderful, but the biggest thing that I want to highlight also is his matchups. He doesn't have to face top 10 defense against wide receivers until week 13, and he has almost zero competition for targets on that Colts team. His only real competition is Michael Pittman, who is, commanding around 25% of the targets, but outside of him, there's no one else. And when Alec Pierce's targets are trending up now that he's been playing the last couple of games, he's still a rookie that should only get better. And then they have nothing but, easy to mediocre matchups over the next 5 or 6 weeks. Those are all the things that you want to be investing in, especially when you can get a guy that's only owned in about 35% of Yahoo leagues right now. He should be available on the waiver wire in most leagues, and you should definitely be picking up if you have a roster spot for him. Next player I want to talk about is Raheem Mostert. Raheem Mostert has played 69+% of the snaps in back-to-back weeks. He's had 18+ opportunities, which is carries plus targets over the last 2 weeks. And now he also, matchup-wise, has an amazing stretch where he plays 6 straight teams that are in the bottom 10 against running backs. Lots of really easy matchups. He is both getting the snaps, he's getting the touches, and now he has the best stretch of possible matchups that he could get for a running back. And he's just coming off his best game of the season as well. And not a lot of people are that excited about him. I think that he could be a lesser version of Cordero Patterson, where he's an older running back playing on a solid offense, and he's going to get a lot of touches and he might score a lot of fantasy points. Don't forget that he's been a player in the past that has produced in fantasy, and while he's getting the snaps, touches, and nice matchups, he's someone that I want to be trading for, especially if you're low on wins and you need to get someone that can at least make an instant impact at a very cheap price. The last guy I want to talk about is Travis Etienne, who I think is the biggest buy low running back in all of fantasy football. I think that he could be this week's Breece Hall. People think that he's the backup for this Jaguars team, but his snaps have gone up in 4 straight weeks. And over the last 2 weeks, he has played the majority of the snaps in these games. And per Ian Hartitz of PFF, he's been better in PFF grade, yards per carry, yards after contact, missed tackles forced per attempt, and also yards per route run and yards per reception. So basically in passing metrics, rushing metrics, however you look at it, Travis Etienne has been better than James Robinson, whether you like it or not. And I think similar to what we saw with Breece Hall, whose snaps have also gone up in a few straight weeks, Travis Etienne's snaps have gone up in 4 straight weeks. And for those of you that weren't paying attention, in Doug Peterson's press conference after the game last Sunday, he said, we need to get Travis Etienne more touches in this offense. So when you look at the fact that his snaps have gone up in 4 straight weeks, Doug Peterson himself is saying that we need to get this guy more touches, and James Robinson has not been that effective, and Travis Etienne has been better in every advanced metric. All signs are pointing towards a breakout coming very soon. Don't forget he's still a former very high first-round pick with Trevor Lawrence, who was his former college teammate. I think this offense is only going to get better over the course of the year with such a young team. Point being, Travis Etienne is the best buy low running back in all of fantasy football. So make sure to add him in all of your leagues and try to make a trade while you still can. But that is it for another episode of one of these Football Guys shorts. Don't forget to subscribe, turn that bell notification on, and keep enjoying Football Guys content each and every single day.